Thank you and good morning. And I'd first like to give a shout out and a thanks to the Senate for continuing this great tradition and coming together and honoring those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. The very first thing I'm going to do is pull an audible because that's what generals do. I'd like Deborah, is Deb still here that sang the National Anthem? Are you in the, she bailed? Okay, so I was going to present, that was an awesome rendition of our National Anthem. That one had the hair on the back of my neck standing up, so I'll find Deb and make sure that I present her with one of my general officer's coins for a job well done. So let's give another round of applause to Deb. So I will start out this morning with a greeting that I learned in my last trip to Monrovia, Liberia. We spent a lot of time in Africa, and from the Minister of Defense that just says all protocols observed, so then I've caught you all, right? And but it is great to be here this morning. So I would ask all of you that have worn the cloth of this great country at any time, served at any level, please stand up so we can recognize you. Awesome. Thank you for your service. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize any of our first responders that are in here today. Would you please stand up? Okay, well, we're going to give thanks to our first responders who are on the front each and every day, putting it all on the line to make sure that we're safe, and say thanks to them. And I want to say a special thanks, and it's great to see all the Gold Star families here, and many of you that I've had the privilege to talk to over the last 6 years at the event that we have at the governor's residence, and hear some of the stories. You represent the 234 Michigan service members that we have lost in the last 17 years of war. God bless to you and to your families, and I know the great sorrow, but the great pride when we talk about your loved ones, and say again thanks to you, and it's great to see all of you again. So I will tell you, during the last 17 years of war, the Michigan National Guard has deployed over 24,000 soldiers and airmen. In fact, about 3 weeks ago, we sent off an air assault company, helicopters. 10 of our helicopters are en route to Iraq, and 21 of our Michigan National Guardsmen have made the ultimate sacrifice. And I care, if you can see this card, you are Superman, right? Trust me, what's on this card are the faces and the dates of the 21 soldiers that we've lost in that last 17 years of war. I would tell you there's not a briefing that I give, not a talk that I give, that I don't first recognize our 21 soldiers that, again, are representative of the 1.6 million Americans that we've lost over our brief nation's history at war. And it is a reminder of the cost of war. And it is a reminder to me as a senior leader, one of my duties and responsibilities and my primary function is to ensure that our soldiers, our airmen, and of course the Marines and our great Navy, that we are giving them the resources that they need and the training that they must have to be prepared to go into harm's way. So it's a readiness reminder for me. But that is always with us. We will never forget. Today we honor those heroes, those who have served, those currently serving, and those who have gave the last full measure of devotion to duty. We recognize their achievements, their courage, their dedication, and have only our thanks to recognize their sacrifice. Thinking of our heroes who join us in the group today and those who are only here in spirit, we stand in the midst of patriots and with the family and friends of those who have nobly served. The servicemen and women we honor today come from all walks of life, but they share several fundamental qualities: courage, pride, determination, selflessness, integrity, dedication to duty, love of country, love of family, and love of their fellow servicemen. These are the qualities needed to serve in a cause larger than oneself. Many of them didn't ask to leave homes and fight distant battlefields. They didn't go to war because they loved fighting. None of them aspired to become heroes. They were called to be part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary times in a truly extraordinary fashion. They rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect the nation that gave them so much and us so much, and never to betray the trust of their brothers and sisters in arms. Since the first shots fired at Lexington and Concord were fired at our Revolutionary War began, American men and women have been answering the call to our nation's duty. Millions of Americans have fought and died on battlefields here and abroad to defend freedoms and our way of life. Today, our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines continue this tradition of service. Even while some make the ultimate sacrifice, young Americans continue to step forward. I am ready to serve, following in the footsteps of the generations of the Americans that have gone before them to answer the call. They run to the sound of guns. Over the course of our nation's brief history, the nation has sustained over 2.5 million casualties, 1.6 million deaths for our freedom. I want you to think about that. These casualties are not isolated in the field of battle. Even after the fight, our service members continue to fight through the physical and psychological scars of their experience, and some succumb to these very real wounds. And after they return from the homeland, 22 of our brothers and sisters are lost to suicide every day. And I've got to tell you that I had the opportunity to go up to the UP yesterday, and I have got two of my soldiers took leave to do a 322-mile ruck march from Ironwood to the Sioux, 22 miles a day, to bring to light, to just everybody be aware of, get the message out that we've got 22 veterans a day committing suicide. I got to tell you, you just got to love soldiers. I caught them at day 11. One young lieutenant, Lieutenant Cody Cass, he was doing good. He told me they'd started the ruck march with 60-pound packs on by day 4, 30 pounds. They figured that out. He was doing well, and Staff Sergeant Bettit, he was on crutches and still gutting out a couple miles a day. I ordered him to do 1 mile a day so he didn't hurt himself any worse than he already had. But, you know, the commitment of those soldiers is incredible. And I was really heartened by the community, how they have rolled out those communities they have come through, stopping, thanking them, talking about finding out what they were doing, understanding the issue and giving their support. Raising no money. I can tell you many people tried to tuck money in their pocket to have a cold beer in the evening, but they said no. They would not detract from their message. There would be no alcohol till they finish. So, and that's pretty, that is pretty remarkable. They will finish that ruck march tomorrow at the Sioux, and I tell you, I was so proud of them. I just wanted to share that great story with you. So it's. So as you all well know, many of the wars, in particular the Vietnam War, was not a popular war. And a lot of our soldiers, our Marines, our sailors, our airmen faced recrimination when they came home. But you know what? They just drove on. They continued to do the mission. And we certainly say thanks to them today and recognize the great contribution that they made. So to the Vietnam veterans. Our heroes leave us a legacy of freedom and have taught their children and their children's children the value of sacrifice, work, and virtue, the necessary conditions of freedom. They taught us love of country. These men and women have become our teachers and the words and deeds of their lives. They remind us of human excellence, of the things for which we stand, and especially of the courage that is necessary to maintain those things. Those in service to our military over its history have come from farms and cities, from behind plows and out of factories. And these amateurs have become accomplished warriors. They have been, and still are, underestimated by our adversaries who think we are lazy, who think we are soft, undisciplined, and frankly, not very smart. They think that because we have an open society, we are lovers of liberty and equality. We believe our freedom is an inalienable right of all. And we sometimes are too trusting and naive about the world around us. This is a terribly inaccurate assessment by those who would wish us harm. They clearly do not understand the essence of what makes this nation great is indeed exactly what in turn makes us strong. Once we Americans have been wronged, attacked in peace, or understand liberty and justice is under attack, we citizens, just ordinary folks, like Ulysses Grant, who in 1860 was a clerk, Tecumseh Smith, who was a bank teller, became warriors, without hesitation to enlist and defend all that they hold dear and value, not just for this nation, but for freedom-loving people everywhere. Let no man, no state, no nation believe that Americans do not have the national will, the resoluteness, the commitment, and the courage to defend the sovereignty and freedom of those that have gone before us, particularly those we honor today. We stand ready to answer any threat from Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, ISIS, and any other group out there that would wish us ill. As we have recently seen in Manchester, England, some of our enemies truly have no bounds, no limits, in pursuit of their desire to subrogate our way of life and our ideals. Know without a doubt, our warriors will not falter, and they will not fail in the fidelity of their duty to defend this country against any enemy that would attempt to harm our people, attack our freedoms we hold so precious. I would tell you they hate that flag, and I would tell you that that flag is what I commit to you, the United States military will ensure will continue to fly. I'm so immensely proud of our to be an American soldier and to serve with a member of all services who share the love of country, the dedication to the preservation of freedoms we all enjoy and have paid for in full by the brave men and women who have gone before us throughout history. So I would ask you as we reflect today to give thanks to all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice and to keep our national treasures, the men and women of the United States military deployed in harm's way, in your thoughts, prayers, as well as all those who have worn the uniform in the United States and served. So I say thanks. May God bless all of them. May God bless all of you, and may God bless America. Thank you. Thank you.